You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies.
This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Being Mary Jane After Show.
We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show.
It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Being Mary Jane After Show.
Mary Jane! Yeah. You got that bottle?
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
She's my main thing.
Mary Jane's my main thing.
My Mary Jane is this wine bottle right now.
Yeah, you know, we're going to call somebody for you. Welcome to the Being Mary Jane finale recap, episode 7 and 8. I'm your host, Megan Thomas, and with me are 4 beautiful, lovely ladies today. Let me go through my co-hosts first. Who are you ladies?
I'm Tiona Hobson. Hello, everyone.
And I'm Fahnia Thomas. Hello.
What's up, everyone? I am your girl, Ashley Gray. Make sure that you tweet me during the show at Hey Ashley Gray.
And guess who we have for this finale?
Oh.
The fabulous, the beautiful Miss Robinne Lee, who plays Avery. Hi. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You look so fabulous. Okay, so what is your thoughts about the last 2 episodes in like one sentence?
I am very emotional about the entire thing.
It was kind of emotional.
It was.
Tonight.
It was really difficult to watch. It's been such an amazing ride, and to see it like winding up or winding down like this, it's a little. I was a little verklempt. It was really emotional, and you know, the birth of the baby, and then her losing David, and David's girlfriend being knocked up, and and like everyone seeming to have happy endings, but for Gabrielle's character, that's also kind of sad.
Yeah. No, but at least there's a season 2.
Of course, there's a season 2. You got to set it up for something. I mean, she can't, you know, if everything was like perfect, you know, then we'd have no reason to come back.
So, were you rooting for Mary Jane and David, or were you rooting for Mary Jane and Andre?
And Andre. Obviously, my allegiance is my own husband, so I wanted things for her to work out with David, but you know, I think I don't know. Yes, obviously I'm rooting for me to get back with Andre. And so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was too. I want her and David.
Yeah.
Team David.
What was the best part about filming this and being on set?
Gosh, there are 2 great things. It was incredibly inspiring, refreshing, well-crafted, beautifully written material.
Yes.
And that, to be a part of something like that, was just like wonderful. It's like a blessing. As you're an actor, you're so happy to be working, period.
Right.
But when you're given something that's like, you have to rise to the occasion, and you're like, wow, we're really trying to do something here. Like, that is really lovely. So there's that, and then being with my friends. I mean, Gab and I go back since we did Deliver from Eva, which is over 10 years ago.
Right, that is true.
And Latarsha Rose, who plays Lisa, the crazy doctor, was roommates with my sister in college, and I've known her for years. And she was my sister's roommate out here for years, and I'm going to meet her right after this, so we can watch the West Coast feed together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so working with my friends, and then I met so many great new people on this. Like Omari and I just clicked. I love Lisa Vidal. Stephen Bishop is wonderful. Richard Brooks, Richard Roundtree, like BJ. It's just like, it's such a wonderful family, and I really feel like we just had a great time, and that's the best part of it. When you work with people you love, and the material's great, and everything, it's like, you can't ask for more.
So it doesn't even feel like work because you love it so much.
It doesn't. Then you have to like pinch yourself, like, I'm getting paid for this? Like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a blast.
That's awesome. And I love the connection between you and Lisa. Like, I had no idea that Lisa was actually your sister's roommate in college.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And the funny thing, Latarsha. And, you know, we were kind of like, we've been at the business for a while, and we have ups and downs, and we're always there, like, cheering each other on. And literally, I would say it was about 2 weeks before we booked this show, we had brunch, and we were like, wasn't a sob fest, but it was like, this is my last pilot season. Yeah, mine too. I can't do it anymore. I'm ready to quit. Like, it's so depressing. Have you gone out for anything? No, I went out for this, I was like, oh, we went for this one show, Being Mary Jane. Yeah, that was really good. And then some other pilot and whatever, but nothing, whatever.
So did you
and
guys...
within 2 weeks, we both booked it. And like completely, like I had no idea. Because she's very secretive about all her stuff. So because her part was a series regular, she had to go through the whole rigmarole of like testing for the network and studio and all that other stuff. But mine was recurring, so I just went in once and then found out later that I booked it. But I found out that I'd booked it, and I think maybe a day later her announcement came out in the trades, and she didn't want to say anything until it came out. And I was like, oh my God! Yeah.
You actually answered my question. I wanted to know, did you guys kind of discuss like, oh, hey, I'm going to this audition for Being Mary Jane?
We didn't. I mean, we discussed the fact that we both went in on it, and we read for both those. I don't know if she read for my part. Okay. But I read for her part and my part. Oh, awesome. And I know that, and there were a few parts, but those are the two that I read for. So,
was there anything that surprised you about playing Avery? Like once you got the role and you got to see all the stuff that you had to do?
A lot. It was just very different. It's a huge departure from the kind of roles I usually play, and from who I am as a person. Right. And so that made it really tricky, I guess, and challenging. Like I felt like I was stepping to someone else's shoes. And once I was there, like you become comfortable with the character, and you kind of like, she lives inside of you, and then it becomes this other thing. But kind of like getting into it in the beginning was not easy. Like it was definitely a transition that I had to make. And then you'd get the script, and it'd be like, I'm doing what? I'm what? With a pillow?
Right.
Like, I have parents, they watch TV, oh my God. Like, you get something, and you're like, oh, Omar, we're having sex on and it's like they'd spring on the scene on you, and you're like, oh, we're doing that scene now? Like things like that are just like, but it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Is that ever weird for your family to see you do like roles like that, or are you just kind of like, you guys know what I do?
I think it's probably weird for them. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's weird for me knowing that they're watching it.
Do you tell them in advance, like, hey, this episode?
I said about the whole show. I was like, I was like, this show is really great. I'm really proud of it. The writing is amazing. There's going to be some sex. Some of it's going to be really racy. Maybe Daddy doesn't want to see it all. Like, I don't know how they're going to edit it, but just know I'm acting and enjoy.
Yeah. Like, always good.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into episode 7, Blindsided. The episode opens up with Mary Jane coming over to give her guilt gifts to Niecy. We see that. And the thing about it is, Niecy, they have a really touching moment, and Niecy says something, I think, that has crossed a lot of black women's mind, not every black woman, but a lot of black women's mind, about the light-skinned, good hair topic. Yeah. And she says that it's not that she wasn't trying to have a baby, but she was. When she said she was, her baby's father is Filipino, and she wanted her daughter to have good hair, the light skin, and she just wanted her to be pretty so her life would be great. Is the complex that she's talking about real for black women?
I think so. I think that there's a lot of conversation about it going on currently today in social media. We have a lot of black women who have decided to go natural because they want to embrace that beauty that was kind of like, it wasn't accepted
for a very long time.
For a long time, and now we're going back to this place where, you know what, my black is beautiful. Right. I don't necessarily have to wear straight hair. My natural hair is very versatile. I can wear it straight, or I can wear it in a curly fro, and it's beautiful. Or if I decide to put in some weave, that's beautiful as well. Right. So I truly do think that this is something that is true. It does affect women, and affects men as well. I feel like black men project a certain image onto black women, and it kind of like creates this whole dynamic of, you know, high self-esteem, low self-esteem. If I'm dark and I don't get a lot of play from my people, then it's like, oh, I'm not as pretty as my light-skinned friend who has the curly hair and it's long. So it's definitely relevant, but I do appreciate this whole social thing that's going on with, you know, black women are owning how beautiful we truly are, and it's being appreciated. So I do appreciate this show bringing up that topic, because a lot of people are kind of shy away from it because it is, I mean, it's an old topic, but it's still fresh.
Right. Yeah. So, Robin, what do you think?
I thought it was wonderful that Mara tackled it head on and addressed it. It's definitely an issue. I mean, growing up Black in America, especially, you're so aware of it. How we discriminate against each other, and hurt each other and judge each other, and it's real, and it's out there, and it's nice that it can be discussed. I mean, God, I know it's like feeling like I'm the darkest person in my family and feeling like, well, what does that mean? And I'm gonna get all emotional. But it is. It's something that can be very uncomfortable to discuss and deal with. I mean, I feel like it's issues of self-esteem and self-awareness and just feeling beautiful and wanted or desired or liked or being the kind that's cast aside. And it's not even, I mean, yes, amongst Black women, there's even that. There's a light shade and the darker shade. But then if you look at the grand scheme of things, and it's like if you're putting us up against Latinas or Asian women or white women and blondes and blah, 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 like you start feeling very marginalized. You can feel very marginalized. And I like the fact that we're discussing it. And like Ashley said, that it's becoming more and more accepted. I hate to use her example because I feel like she's the example for everything these days. And not to say that her work is not amazing, but Lupita Nyong'o.
Right. Yeah.
Like I feel like, 15 years ago, it was all Halle Berry. Not that the Halle Berry beauty is any less beautiful, but it's really wonderful for us to acknowledge someone like Lupita Nyong'o and be like, not only like, oh, is she talented and strong, but she's beautiful. And we can just call her beautiful and not have to, no pun intended, shade it in a way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she's beautiful for
she's
Black.
She's
right.
Beautiful
She's not
for
beautiful for a Black. Right.
Exactly.
She's not beautiful for a dark skin. She's beautiful.
Right.
And I feel like the point when Niecy were like, oh, well, I wanted my baby to be mixed. Right. I feel like that's another thing. It's like, oh, mixed girls are automatically beautiful. When not to be
there are
mean,
some ugly ones.
but it's like I feel like a lot of people will put themselves on a pedestal because they are mixed with something else, and I feel like that's in the Black community.
Right,
it's like, oh, if I'm mixed with this, then I'm prettier than you. Or it's like if you're mixed with Black and white, if you're around the the white side of the family, then it's like you kind of act a certain way if you're on the Black side. It's just like, it's a mess. And I really appreciate this show for kind of bringing up that conversation, because no matter what, we are all beautiful, and we're all mixed with something. So and I know everybody said that, no, I ain't Indian. Black people like, I'm mixed with Indian. No.
What about you guys? You guys think the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's a topic that needs to be discussed, and it's not just for Black women, it's Black men as well. There's the whole light-skinned brothers, dark-skinned brothers thing. Dark-skinned guys think one thing, light skin's the other.
And it's all over social media.
Yeah, it's all over social media, Instagram, dark ninjas be like,
Okay, well, I want to ask you about that, because that's something that Niecy says, and she says that, she's basically feeling she doesn't have as much confidence because the men that she's come in contact with don't think she's as beautiful. Right. Obviously, because there's the skin color factor, a hair factor in there. What do you think the message should be to guys about women that are Black?
You want to take that?
Because I know that there's Black guys that's really big. Let's just say this right now, disclaimer. Like, this is a hot button topic, and we're not going to be able to solve all of this right now and address all the different aspects of it. But to that point, there are Black guys out there that love thick girls. That's all that they want. For me, I agree with everything that was said, but what stuck out to me, and I'm playing devil's advocate just a little bit, is when she said her possibilities were limited. I feel like there's a point where, yes, because there's a lot of Black on Black crime when it comes to skin tone and how we treat each other. But if you allow yourself to be limited and you self-sabotage, then you're going to be limited. Right. So either you rise above and you be one of the girls that says, you know what, my Black is beautiful, Black girls rock, then you press on and you move forward. Right. And that's when you start aligning yourself with people that love you and build you up, and you get what you put out.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the way you're raised as well. My mother raised me to think that Black was beautiful. To tell me that just because my other little white friends, had blonde hair and ringlets, that they were no different than me in our beauty. We were equals in that way. So I think a lot of it is based on how you're raised too, with that mentality coming into the world, into my adulthood. I come in as an equal, where I have some friends who weren't told that growing up. Right. And so they have to learn to accept it instead.
I also think a lot of it's it's also your environment where you grew up, like where you went to school, where what your neighborhood, what people looked like. Like if you grew up in a privileged neighborhood, went to a private school, whatever, and you're the only one that looked like you're going to have different feelings about your beauty and your self-worth or your attractiveness versus someone who grew up in a neighborhood where more people look. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, Niecy has her baby this episode. Woo, she has her baby. And the thing that I really liked was when her father went to Dante's house, with a little raggedy. Dante didn't come with them to the hospital. I was offended. And his sweet little Filipino mother had to find out that he got 2 kids on the way.
she was adorable.
I know, she was like, what are these black people doing on my doorstep? What they got to tell
Sure,
me?
come on in.
I love
Dante, stop being rude.
Right? I love that the dad and the brother were like, no. Like, that, I
Right,
love that sense of family that this show brings.
Right.
Like, they're there and they're a part of everyone's
families,
life.
everything. Yeah.
And I love that Dante was a little punk, though. Right? Dante, you're a grown man. You're living at your home with your mom. She doesn't know that you knocked up 2 girls, and then you hide him behind them. Like, man, why you gotta rat me out about the second one?
Right.
Like,
Shut up, Dante.
Punk,
Shut up and get in his car. Okay, so
lot of
yes,
pregnancy in
and the other thing that we also see that Mama Helen Patterson is I was laughing about the life alert. Did you think that she should have got the life alert? I thought look, don't be offended, Mama. You always talking about you sick. This is good.
I think it's a good thing.
Right.
But I could try to picture myself several years from now, someone giving me that feeling. What am I about to kick the bucket?
Exactly.
Like, how old am I? Well, I could see how you might.
It's like saying you're on your way out.
Right, pretty much. It is.
Okay, do you guys agree with PJ giving her the weed muffin?
The Mary Jane.
The Mary Jane.
100%.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't even partake, but if it's going to help her enjoy the golden years of her life, then do it. It's medical. It's,
Right.
Yeah.
If it's easing the pain.
Yeah.
You've made it this long.
Right.
Why not?
Why didn't you do it sooner, PJ? I'm just saying, because clearly she's got, she's not very nice to people. And do you see the difference? I mean, I don't agree with him giving her that brownie right before the baby was coming. That was a little bit much. But I'm glad he gave it to her because she was so much more of a fun grandma.
Right.
Like, she played with Deasia.
Right.
She was like, let's play a trick. She wasn't doing it. She was like doing the little thing on the stairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do that sooner.
Shout out to her gold slippers.
Every granny has, by the way. What's everybody's grandmother have them?
And they're from the hair store, the 99-cent gold slippers from the hair store on the corner.
My grandmother's been wearing those, and she's from Omaha, Nebraska, okay? She's been wearing those since I was a little kid. Like, I remember, she stays in her heels, like.
Right.
So fun. Shout out to Ruth Carter, our wardrobe person. She's amazing.
Oh.
Did she let you pick your stuff, by the way? Did you get to pick any of your
We
clothes?
get to pick our stuff. Like, she gives you a wide range of things, and we kind of go with her together and figure out what works best for the character and what we like. And
Right.
Yeah.
Yours is very
awesome.
Land's End, very
it's
J. Crew.
Yes,
Crew.
Philosophy reserved.
Yes.
Very Zara-esque.
Yes.
Breast. I love it.
Cute.
Okay, so also there's a little serious stuff that happened in this episode, and that is that Terrence Mitchell dies.
Luda!
Pour a little out for Luda.
Right. Let's pour a little out
A
here.
little out for the homeboy.
For the homie.
My boy Luda.
Our celebratory wine.
That is some strong wine. Ooh, I didn't even taste that. Okay, so we see that Terrence has committed suicide because I guess the pressure of his legacy, which is jailhouse reform, has now been tarnished because the truth is he lied. Mary Jane feels really bad about it. And do you think Mary Jane handled herself correctly this episode with making the statement that she made?
At work?
Yes.
I do.
I do too. I think that the way she spoke, it was very classy and elegant. It was very Mary Jane style. And she got her point across without it seeming like it was self-serving or really rehearsed. Because, when you have a network and, someone has to issue an apology, it always feels forced. And it's never really from the heart. And you're kind of like, oh, man, they're just saying that to save her butt.
Right.
But this one, you could tell, that this is something that has been tormenting her. And that, she was really a friend, because I think the media was trying to spin it that she wasn't being a true friend to him.
Right.
No one knows about the discussion they had before she went on air with it.
Right.
And she can't just come out and be like, hey, I actually talked to him and he knew it was coming, because then it seems like she's really trying to
Right.
sabotage stuff. Yeah.
So there's a question I have. So Mary Jane has a conversation with her father, and she asks why he never said anything to her about the whole Terrence Mitchell situation. And he says, you know, when I was coming up, we were taught that we have to stick together, that we have to bend the rules to get things done because the playing field is not even.
Right.
Is that true for Black people? Does that resonate, especially in the industry that you're in, Robin?
Oh, goodness.
That's
a loaded question.
You don't have to speak about it in regards to your own, you know, situation. But
right now, I'm trying to think.
You know, Black people in general, is this a true statement? I mean, for me, I'll say it is a true statement. You know, I'm from the South, and I was always raised like, hey. So, you know, even though you're a mixed kid, they're not going to see you as mixed. No one's going to say, the little Korean girl Megan. They're going to be like the little Black girl Megan. And so because of that, you have to understand that you got to be 2 times better, 2 times faster than everybody else.
I think we all got that speech, definitely.
Right.
Yes.
Was it whether or not it was to look out for your... I think... I don't know so much if it's looking out for your colleague or whatever, but you're not going to... let someone outside of your group badmouth that person, let's say.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean? Like,
nobody can talk about my mama
or
the next colored person but me.
Right.
I think it's more of an encouraging thing rather than, okay, we're going to like jump on anyone who does anything wrong. It's more of, okay, if someone's speaking ill of you, I'm going to kind of correct them and say, you know, but more so I'm going to console you. Just looking out for one another, you know, and that plays back into the whole, you know, stereotype of Black is not as beautiful as other races. It's like, girl, you are gorgeous, you know?
Right. Well, I think about like my affinity for Obama. I mean, I feel like he can do no wrong. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, even if something's like, oh, that didn't go, no. I'm here to support him no matter what happens. And I kind of feel like in the beginning, I mean, he's been our president for a while, so we're all comfortable. But when everything was, like back in 2007, when it was in the primaries, there was a lot of like, you found yourself like defending and you're like, I don't even really know what his policy is on this, but I'm going to go with it because this is the first time we've ever had this chance to actually be in the White House. And like, so it was like that kind of like standing up for, I feel like it happens when it's in a larger population and it's not an all Black population, obviously. And that's when you do that kind of, we're sticking together and I'm here for you, I got your back.
So what happens when the person is wrong? Like in this case, Terrence Mitchell actually, I mean, he was wrong. He lied. He committed journalistic fraud. So do you still stick up for people when they're wrong? Or what do you do in that situation?
You should never necessarily stick up for someone when they're wrong. I feel like you should correct them and say, you know, have a conversation with them and say, do you know why this is wrong? So just come at the situation positively, but I'm not like, if you do something ratchet, I'm not about to stick up for you. I'm gonna be like, girl, did you see yourself?
Right. Okay, so then that brings me a question. And so what should have Mary Jane have done with Terrence Mitchell, because he lied and she was just reporting the news?
That's what
should she have done?
My question was, because if it had been anyone else, if this had been, I don't know, who's another, you know, Diane Sawyer on the news, she would have taken that information and ran with it, and I think really painted him in a horrible light.
Right.
Whereas I think that where I thought Mary Jane was coming from, if I handle this, he's my friend, I can still salvage something of him instead of him being torn apart by the world and feeding him to the wolves.
Right.
I think that with the whole situation, your personal emotion should have just been erased across the board. This is your job to deliver news. It does not matter if this is your boyfriend, your friend, your husband. You should have removed yourself from the story altogether.
But here, I have a question with it, because then that goes against what her father was saying, which is we bend the rules for those that are like us, because we know that the playing field is not even. We know that the media is going to rip Terrence Mitchell. We know people are going to be like, forget about prison reform, which we know is necessary because this guy lied. That's what we need to focus on. So that's what I'm saying. What do you do in an instance where you can, you know,
but that's a double standard.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So is looking out for somebody more important than being truthful? Because in this instance, what should she have done?
I feel like it's situational. Like she should have given the story to someone else. Because at the end of the day, it's still credible news, and the audience deserves the truth. So if this is my friend, then I need to give this story to someone who's going to deliver it to the public in an accurate and informative way without any obscurity. Like, that's just period, point blank.
I understand Ashley's point. She wants to wash her hands of the whole situation, to not be involved and not have to worry about exposing her friends. You know, when you are a journalist, your job is to report the news and to remain unbiased. So, I mean, many people that we probably don't even know have been faced with that challenge. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And I think that's an easy way to go, you know, pass it off to somebody else and hopefully they treat that person with, you know, respect and just report the story and don't drag them through the mud.
But I still think she did that in her job. I think when she handled that interview, she did remove herself. She gave him the opportunity to come on and give his side of the story. She did everything right. It's just that people don't know what happened behind the scenes. They only saw what happened on camera, and that she was the one who delivered the news. And that's but even in the interview, his ex-girlfriend says, "I know he's your friend, so stop trying to stick up for him. He did this and it's true and I have the proof." And Mary Jane couldn't say anything else. She was like, okay, this is true, and she let it go.
Yeah. Right, and I loved the fact when she came home, she was really sad about it after her shopping
broke down with her.
Right, and her housekeeper was singing to her. Shout out to housekeepers that are so sweet because they're like a part of your family. No, for real, because housekeepers end up being your family. They know your habits, your craziness in your house.
Sometimes they know a little bit too much about you.
Right.
A friend was just pointing out to me on Facebook what an incredible job we've done on Being Mary Jane with relationships with domestic workers and undocumented workers and so forth and so on. It's just really kind of nice that we're being nice. I shouldn't say nice.
I mean, even the security
it's
guard.
Good that we're that BET and Akil Productions is taking such a progressive stance and standing up for people who sometimes live in the shadows.
Right, would otherwise not have the opportunity to be in such great light.
Because even in Mary Jane's newsroom, I've noticed that every week it's the same people in there. They don't say anything to the camera or anything, but it's just having that sort of consistency, even with, you know, the extras in the background. Right. It's like, okay, yes, this is real because it's every week the same people. It's not changing every week who the stage manager is and stuff like that.
And shout out to the security guard because she looks like she does work at the building. With the blonde hair. There's always a security guard with blonde hair, short blonde hair, right? And she's kind of thick. There's always one.
Or TSA agent.
Right. And I also want to give a shout out to Mara Rakakil for putting Ava DuVernay in this episode.
Nice Ava.
That was awesome. It was just so organic.
I'd forgotten. It was a nice surprise. I remember she visited this. I wasn't there when she was shooting. I knew that she visited the set. I didn't realize that she shot an episode.
And then if you haven't checked out Middle of Nowhere, it's an awesome, awesome film. Make sure you go check it out. It's her film. And it does talk about what being, injustices and what being in prison does to families. It's an amazing, amazing movie. So shout out to
Can you say amazing again?
Amazing, amazing.
One more time.
Amazeballs. And if you're amazing, then you'll go to iTunes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. Go to iTunes, rate, comment, and share on this podcast. It is our last one. We're so sad, but we will be back for season 2. Make sure that you rate, comment, and share this with a friend. And check us out on YouTube as well.
Yes, and speaking of YouTube, I have a YouTube comment to read.
What did
I'm gonna say your name wrong, and I apologize. Cara Hio. Yeah, maybe. Said,
you know who you are.
Said, I'ma steal that. Every trash can has a lid. My hunk of trash is David, though. LOL. Stay off my man. I'ma say that. Stay off my man.
That's a wonderful segue into the last part of this episode. David comes over to Mary Jane's house because he finds out that she stole his sperm.
What? Awkward.
Yeah.
So awkward.
That's the thing you don't want happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Ever. I never want that to happen in my life.
No.
What?
I did not steal a sperm. Right, exactly.
Why'd you still have it?
Yes. Okay, so we get into episode 8, Uber Love, which, by the way, that's so funny because I was wondering why it was called Uber Love.
Uber.
They use an Uber SUV car.
Uber the app. Uber's making its way on a couple TV shows. I was watching something else the other night, and they were Uber. I gotta call it Uber.
I hope Being Mary Jane got paid for that in the show.
I don't know. I'm not their business representative.
I'm sure it was sponsored.
That was really good product placement.
Okay. It was good product placement.
So this episode opens up. David walks in the house and he searches her refrigerator and her freezer for this sperm. Why? Somebody please tell me. Why does Mary Jane still have this sperm that is not viable in her home?
Well, we don't. First of all, do we know that it's not viable?
Yeah, because remember, Dr. Lisa told her, like, you didn't even freeze it right, so it's not going to work.
Yeah, but you still kind of hold on, because I'm a little crazy. Like, not that I would say I would do something like that.
There could be one guy in there still swimming.
No, I
There could be one guy not dead
Would you
yet.
want that baby? Like that one that's like...
Yeah, I can't be.
Would I want David's baby?
No, she's talking about that one sperm that's probably like
the
halfway
one,
deformed.
after the sperm's been damaged, you probably don't. But if the sperm's damaged that much, it's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not going to be like halfway. It could be. I don't know.
Maybe
I've
that one
never done
sperm
this.
is the Olympic swimmer of the group.
Exactly.
And that's he's the
We
Michael
hope.
Phelps. He's still going strong.
We hope.
No, that's disgusting.
awkward all
I'm
around.
The
just-
only thing that, like, it's just like, okay, so once you freeze it and it defrosts, it's like, ugh. Because how
it's
many
still
times?
sperm.
Yeah, but ew. Like,
What do you mean, ew? She's frozen for a reason.
Let's talk about how much was in the cup, though. Because
okay, Tiona.
there was a lot.
Stop.
Let's take a
Stop.
sip. Let's take a
Too
sip
much.
to that.
This is too much. And so then I find it really funny that, okay, so she tells him where it is, he takes it out, and I think he should have been more mad than he was.
I think he was mad.
You know,
I got that he was mad.
Right.
And she was able to diffuse it by like,
Yeah.
I'm not peeing on a stick, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like
Let's go have a glass of wine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and their friendship, you can definitely tell, like, they have been friends for
Right.
years,
Right,
and
right.
that's why he didn't get
ride or
if
die.
If it was this
She's
random girl, like from 3 months ago, oh, he would have flipped the
Right.
script. But
Right.
this is my homegirl / lover, honey, ride or die. So I'm not gonna flip out too much, but. I
In
mean,
the end, they could laugh about it.
Right.
you
Until
can
they
laugh
fought.
about
But
me
he wasn't
feeling
like-
your
He didn't
sperm.
laugh about it at all, did he?
But
Even
he was
towards the
kind
end?
of like, I
end.
mean, all you had to do was ask.
Right. I feel like he
First
flipped
of
it
all-
and was sexy about it. But then the end of the next episode, I was like, ah! God damn.
I know,
Sorry.
David. No, that's okay. We're on the internet. You're good. You're good. Oh,
yeah.
It's not on TV.
We're talking about sperm.
Right. Wait.
Swimmers.
First of
You
all,
have to say it like that.
I mean, you know, it's what it is.
I'm so done. Okay, so here's the and shout out to the pregnancy test. Did y'all peep that it was Equate brand and they covered the Equate?
I know. Oh, was it the little words?
It was like
Yeah,
a circle or
yeah, the
something. Like,
circle.
you know Equate if you shopped at Walmart. Shout out to the Equate brand. There you go.
We know. That's why we have lots of coins. Because
Right.
we shop at Walmart when we need to.
Funny.
We know the Walmart brand.
Not that we're pushing Walmart,
That's
but
not
hey.
go for your pregnancy.
We know when we're getting pregnancy tests. That's my next. Yeah, we're not.
I was like, I don't know about no pregnancy test.
Right.
Y'all-
If I was
Yeah.
going to the pregnancy, I wouldn't go with an off-brand
No.
label.
No.
I'm
I'm gonna
going
make
with
sure
first
it's gonna-
response
EPT.
Right.
or something like.
I'm going to Planned Parenthood. Like,
I know. David, you got too much money, David, to be getting the off-brand
Right.
pregnancy test.
Well, you know.
Oh, point.
Now I'm thinking he happened to have them at home because of the other girl.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you are right. But then she would notice that her pregnancy test was missing.
You get more than one.
you get two
do
in a
you?
pack.
It comes in a
You get two in a
Don't you?
pack, but if you're like trying or whatever,
Yeah,
well, you're
to
gonna
be certain.
Yeah,
get,
you
like, a
probably
lot.
want to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
You better go to the
Tiff.
doctor.
Well, okay, so I want to just draw us back a little bit. Did anyone else like melt when David was like, all you had to do was
Yes.
ask?
Oh,
You see
yes.
my
I was
tweet?
like, oh.
That's when I was like, I know I should. I was like, I love me some David. I was like, I know, as Andre's wife, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm kind of like, hey,
Right.
I'm like, okay,
Yes.
so where,
So yummy.
how do I contact you so I can ask?
right.
And that's really easy. Okay, so what do
Do
I
I just
do?
tweet you? Do I call a number?
Instagram.
Sign
I
up
wonder-
list?
I know, Stephen
Oh, you
Bishop,
can
if
do
you
that.
could, just let us know how many
Yeah.
people tweeted you to ask
I
you
know.
this.
I mean, I'll tweet it. I'll text you
wanted it,
later and
baby.
get the number.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll need that, please. Okay, so I thought Mary Jane's reaction was a little slow because she waits till he's in the car and he pulls off before she decides she wants to jump in her car and chase him down and tell him, I am declaring my love for you. We are meant to be together.
I'm kind of amazed that she did it because so often something like that happens and then the moment goes and then
Yeah.
and then he's gone and you're like, I should have done this. I should have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just if I could just have that moment back. So I'm glad for all of us who've
Right.
ever had that she put on her Uggs and got in the car and chased him down.
And that's why I can appreciate that pause because there's so many instances where we won't go and chase a man. Like, I'm not
Right.
chasing no man.
Right.
Like, you need to be chasing me. And I actually have that in my notes. Like, should women chase men? Like, do I have to, like, throw on the Uggs and, like, run after you?
If they're the one.
If they are the one, honey, you
You're
better
the one. You better do what
forget
you
them Uggs. You better
Before
run.
somebody else does.
I'm running barefoot, honey.
Right.
I will go go straight dirty and run barefoot on the street to get to where it's meant to be.
Straight dirty. I love it.
Girl, not my neighborhood. My neighborhood is dirty.
My neighborhood. I put on shoes.
But I was happy that we finally found out what really broke them up because that was my biggest question. I was like, did someone cheat? Like, what happened? And
what did happen? I was too busy tweeting.
She left him when he was down in the dump.
So that's what it was?
When he didn't have his company yet.
Yeah, his company hadn't.
When he needed her the most, she wasn't there. She abandoned him. You don't want to abandon a man that looks that good.
No. Yes, you do, girl. What you talking about? It don't matter. That's what's wrong right now because there's too many sisters out here dating men who look that good and need to let them go.
He was a good guy.
It worked out.
He was a good. I mean, in addition to looking good,
then
he was a good guy.
You should bring that up. Then.
Yeah, you gotta say that part.
Oh well, I'm sorry. You just get mesmerized. You just get mesmerized. But he was a good guy, and he just so happened to look good. Now, he could always get in a car accident and have a face burn or something. So,
oh my gosh,
it's important that he's a good guy.
Season 3.
I'd still want him.
Season 3, please.
Yeah, I'll take him still.
As long as his foundation is good.
I
like David.
I like him too. He's like a sweet thuggish nerd.
The thing that I didn't understand is when he kept saying, like, when I was down and out, like, I've always been good on the money side. I feel like Mary Jane would have known that. Like, so I don't really feel like...
We're going into the next episode.
Yeah.
We're in the next episode. Yeah. Okay, I'm so... Woo.
Yeah.
That's okay, girl. It's a whole lot going on today.
I feel like all the rooms in here are dark. I have no idea what time of day it is.
That's how we like to do you.
Yes, I know. I feel like I've been on a plane for 11 hours. That does sound weird. Okay, so go on.
No,
yes.
I just feel like money wasn't necessarily the issue. I really want to know what was the issue because I feel like David was making it out to seem like money was the issue. Like, you left me when I had nothing.
I think it was like success.
Yeah.
And not so much money, but just like success and feeling like, I hate saying like feeling like a man, but he was building himself up and she wasn't there to support him. Right. And you want someone who's going to be there for you even in the lowest points.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's important to bring up because I think a lot of men need that. They need somebody to be their cheerleader. And it's kind of funny because I feel like Mary Jane was a cheerleader for Andre in the sense that he didn't have that at home, but she wasn't like that for her own man. Right. She was Avery. She was you, Robin.
Well, I don't know. Avery was with Andre when he was nothing.
Right, exactly.
And helped build him up into the man that Mary Jane fell for. She built him.
You did. I will give you that. But I'm saying in the sense of now he is somebody and she still sees, he was saying, I want you to see who I am. Like, you're not understanding. I'm still a great guy here. And you're just completely forgetting about that. And I feel like Mary Jane did that she did the same thing to Steven.
She did something to David.
Sorry, I'm getting his name.
That Andre did to her.
Right.
Or that Andre did to Avery. Kind of.
Right. Right.
Well, one thing he also keeps saying, or that she keeps saying, was that, her friends kept saying that he was using her and, stringing her on. And I wish she had gone into more because that could mean a lot of things.
Yes.
Stringing you along, like you guys were together for years and he wasn't putting a ring on it and wasn't talking about actually settling down with you.
Right.
Because then I understand, okay, well, if you're not going to actually do something with this, I'm wasting my time. I need to move on.
And that is exactly my point. I feel like David was making it seem like money was the issue in, as you said, success, when I feel like it's something else there that he's missing that's on his part that he didn't do. Right. And even Mary Jane was like, well, would you have married me? And I just feel like it's more than, what meets the eye, and we'll kind of get some of that in the season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Honey, the commitments. The commitments. I'll also say that I thought it was cute how they went on the Uber car to different places, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But, of course, she wants to know which one of her friends told on her. And
I called that in the first episode.
I know. I thought it was Lisa, Dr. Lisa, from the beginning. And so, of course, when Kara says, you know who did it, I thought that's who she was referring to. I had no clue.
Well, that's
she
the
was
whole idea.
Michelle.
You're not supposed to know. I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
that was good. And she went and checked Michelle at her job.
Totally
you don't never go to nobody's job.
No.
Because that,
Oh, she did look beautiful when she did it.
Yeah, she did that
dress.
Dress. Amazing.
Stunning. Stunning.
She came in there look. I guess if you're gonna tell somebody off, you better look good doing it. Okay, come to their job.
I'm gonna get all dressed up to be here for 5 minutes just to tell you off.
Right.
But you know, one thing that I grasped from that scene is what she said to Mary Jane when she was like, "You just look at me as this jolly big girl who you can just call to have a good time."
Right.
And that made me think of Mary Jane in a different light. And I actually, what she said, I can see Mary Jane feeling that way. And I'm like, ooh, that seems like the kind of person Mary Jane would be. And she even called her big. She was like, she can take her big ass. And I was like, oh, she tried, honey.
Well, she's a little bit of a mean girl.
She is. Yeah. And those are those stereotypes that we have amongst each other, and putting each other down. Like, she's beautiful. She's not.
Brayley Evans, hey girl, she's pretty.
Yeah,
I
mean,
beautiful.
But it's like, you know, even with the hair thing and the light skin thing, and it's like, you know, it's words hurt, and you have to be careful. You have to be careful.
And you know, I think Nichelle gave Mary Jane a really hard pill to swallow, because she's like, yo, we're not really friends. You've never been in my house in 8 years.
Which is weird.
That's,
like, why?
That's true. That somebody's your friend, you've been to their house.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've been to yours. I know, it's just messed up, I think.
Just gonna say that.
So then she's telling Dr. Lisa, of course. I told Nichelle.
I love that scene. I love that series of scenes between the two of them. It was hysterical.
Right.
The fact that Lisa wasn't drinking the whole time anyway, like was just faking it.
When she said that, I was like, I saw her take a drink.
Crazy.
Oh, I guess she didn't drink
Maybe she
nothing.
didn't.
Maybe she didn't drink anything.
Maybe she was drinking water when she was giving Mary Jane tequila.
I thought that she said she was pretending for, like, at first she was drinking, but she stopped.
Stopped, right.
But Mary Jane didn't notice it because she was so drunk.
Right.
Like, I've done that before where it's like, okay, I really don't want to get messed up, so I'm just going to pretend that I'm taking shots. Right. And all my other friends are like crazy. So, I mean, I got that. I think that she stopped. Yeah, I do.
I just stopped taking shots.
I can still be crazy without the alcohol.
Yeah, I can be crazy without alcohol. I don't need to,
But why we're on this topic, I don't feel like this was all that realistic, because if, for example, if me and Tiona told me that she done told my biggest secret to someone and me and you are drinking, we gonna have it out. Like, it's not gonna be giggles and laughter. It's gonna be like, why? I just wanted more of an argument. It was like Mary Jane was like, okay, you told on me. Let's just, you know, call.
Well, she goes back at some point. She does. Like, when she sobers up, when does she say that? When she says, you just blew my whole life up. You don't get to just leave, or whatever it was.
That was, she was trying to walk out, and she said, and of course she gets her drunk a little bit. She has her take all those huge shots.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I think it was realistic, because I don't think everybody goes off. I think different people deal with anger.
But look at the way that she went off on old girl, but didn't go off the same way.
I think that's why she had already released it onto someone else, and then she already isn't really friends with Nichelle. So she can talk to her crazy like that. Her and Lisa have that bond where, you know, you can do me wrong and I'm gonna be mad for a second.
Well, she knows at least deep down, fragile. You know, like
that's a good point.
And she was coming from a good place. She thought it was going to be helping her friend. Like, hey, dude, leave her alone. You're not good for her. She thought it was going to help, but
and we all have that one friend who, you know, everyone is gonna tell you, hey, she's like bad for you, and you're like, no, I'm gonna defend her, like, we're not gonna get into that big fight, you know. You have your ride or die, who they just understand you on a different level, and I feel like that's where those two are.
Right. Yeah. I really do think Lisa understands her craziness, and MJ is definitely crazy.
Crazy.
And
it's a fun crazy.
So then we see that she makes a call to Nichelle. Nichelle doesn't pick up. Obviously, Nichelle doesn't want to be your friend no more. Mary Jane.
Hilarious.
Because you weren't friends for real anyway. And then they take an Uber car to David's house to his party, which I thought was so inappropriate. Robin, why are you looking like that?
Because I tweeted this too, that, like, thank God Uber was not around when I was single, and because I would have done some stupid things like that.
Right?
Oh my
I might start.
God.
Right?
Oh my God. I'm so lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if the roles were reversed and it was a black chick that was opening up the door, I'm sorry, you would not be coming in the house. You would be on the porch. It would not be so calm. Like, that would, I'm sorry. You're
all
not
those
coming.
people there. Everyone had been in the
I'm sorry,
front,
boo.
listening.
Not been like, no, you can talk to him in front of me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere.
That was just like, oh, okay. And then I was thinking, like, was that on purpose?
I felt like she was adequately enraged. I mean, not enraged, but she was a little.
She did
salty.
say this is not going to end for you.
End well for you.
But you're not going to come into my house while I'm having a party.
Is it her house or
no?
Is
It's
it
his
David's
house.
She's the woman of the house. It's my house.
I don't know. She ain't paying no bill.
Yeah, but it's also not like our situation. I mean, for all she knows, she's the ex-girlfriend. She's not the current.
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying? She's not
Ex-girlfriends
the
have
mistress.
to stay outside on the porch.
Really?
Yeah.
You would
Sorry.
See, well, I think that goes to
It's
show.
not a cat.
Right.
And even with cats, I'd let
It's
it
got a pussy. I'm staying outside.
I'm done.
Give me some of that. Give me some of that.
Pussy
Ooh.
sounds
Hey.
Take a drink to that.
Oh gosh! But I think that shows the confidence of the girlfriend. She like, you can come on in. 'cause
Right.
I know
You can
I'm
come on in,
I'm
'cause
not
I
going
know-
nowhere.
Okay,
But
Or does it?
Let's just
it
say,
does. I think it does.
speaking
She's
of
carrying
the
his
confidence,
child.
speaking of the confidence of the girl now,
And she's
of
engaged.
course-
Sorry.
Oh,
They're not
no
girlfriends.
problem.
She's the fiance.
No,
Oh, is she
They're
engaged?
engaged?
Yeah, didn't he say that?
No, he kept saying I'm with someone.
What was in the magazine last week?
Oh, that they were together. I don't think it said they were
Yeah, no,
engaged.
no, no.
though.
Really? I thought he said okay.
But speaking of the magazine, so in the magazine, this chick looks like a 15, like literally like a 20. I'm like, oh my god, this girl is amazing. She's beautiful. If I was gay, I would date her. And then I saw her, and I'm like, ooh,
She's a 6.
who
did
is
say
this
that.
old woman coming to the? Is that
Stop! You stop right there.
Tried it.
You did.
Tried.
You
But I'm just
did.
saying,
She
we
was-
were-
She was very attractive.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
She was.
She was a
Every
banger.
trash can has a lid.
Put the lid
people.
on.
She
Every trash is one man's treasure. Can we use that today?
I'm just saying, Mary Jane has nothing to worry about. That's
Okay.
all I'll say. We'll just keep it at
Yes,
that.
she does. Because old girl is pregnant.
Yes.
She was just horny, girl.
What? Pregnancy is not horniness. It's
Yes,
different.
that's exactly what it is.
Pregnancy is a kid.
Because
No, cuddling up on the couch together, reading what to expect when you're expecting. That's not just horniness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He don't want her.
You didn't see
David
Dante
does not.
and Niecy cuddling up on the couch reading what to expect when you're expecting.
But you know what? It's those. I don't really feel like David loves her or wants to have her kid necessarily. I mean, he wants a kid, but not with her. Because think about it. All of those times where Mary Jane, every time Mary Jane would walk away, he would watch her leave. If a guy watches you leave, that's it. You have his heart.
You're just holding us up from the
Right.
from that waiting to exhale moment.
Right.
That was 1992 or something like
Right.
We've evolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they go to see Kara, or excuse me, I will say Lisa leaves, and then Mary Jane goes to see Kara, and Kara basically digs into her for saying, "How dare you you have an affair when you saw me and what I went through in my affair?"
Right.
And she says
I
that
thought she was
she should
great.
apologize. Is that true? Should mistresses apologize to the lady of the house?
Why you look at me?
No, they should just not be mistresses in the first place.
They shouldn't
I'm
be
saying
mistresses in
if
the
they
first
are,
place.
if they're already
but if they are, and they found out, and say her situation is very specific in that she did not know he was married when they got together.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing that's like, yes, you would apologize for something like that. I had no idea. If I'd known, I would not have done this. She kept on doing it, and so that
Right.
that makes another situation. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the mistress apologizing now.
Okay, so here's the other question then. Should women who get cheated on, wives who get cheated on, should they take the advice of the women who cheated with their husband
About how to.
about how to satisfy their man?
That's what I wrote down in my notes too. I'm not sure that I'd want to hear it.
Yes.
Right.
Because I don't want because then it feels like I'm being blamed for his infidelity
Right.
when he could have told me what he needed
Right.
from me.
Exactly.
Have a conversation with me before straying, and then we can work it out. If I want to use a pillow, then we're just gonna have to work something out maybe. I don't know, but I just felt like that's putting a lot of the blame on the person who was cheated on when maybe they didn't even realize something was broken in their marriage.
And also, why would you want to keep someone who was never initially a part of your marriage in your marriage? It's like once they have dismissed themselves from the situation, then they need to continue to be dismissed. It's like, why would I even take and have a conversation with you? We're done and we're over with. It's about me and my husband, so I'm going to have that conversation with him. Right. Bye.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think it brings up a very good point, and I think it would serve Avery very well if she listened, if she took down her pride and listened to some advice that Mary Jane has. And I think, yes, it is your marriage, but there's a reason your marriage didn't work.
Yeah,
So
but
if
Mary Jane is not a marriage counselor.
She's not. But here's the thing that Kara says. Kara says, "I wish I had the insight." She says,
we have a counselor.
Right, you do.
Yeah.
But Kara says, "I wish I had the insight of what the other woman did with my husband," because she's like, "You have that right now, Avery. You have that. At least you get to hear this stuff. I wish I got to hear it, because at least I would have recognized what I was doing wrong, because I was so deep into it, I couldn't even see. All I knew is I was hurt and I was mad and I was angry, instead of going, okay, I bear some blame for this. Now, what can I do differently? Even if I have to hear it from this person.
I just didn't think that what Mary Jane brought to the table was anything that Avery could not have found out if Andre had just told her, this is what I'm missing from you.
Exactly.
If you bring me something that I wasn't going to be able to get out of him, yeah, sure, give me your advice and we can work on it. But it was all stuff that all he had to do was open up his mouth and say, talk to me.
Exactly.
Ask me how my day is going.
But he did tell her. He said that like a few episodes ago. He says that you don't ask me. You don't talk to me like this. You don't say anything to me. You just see me as this guy who used to be.
But at that
nothing.
point, they was already on.
The
marriage is like there's already infidelity happening.
But,
she's not trying to hear it.
But here's the thing. She already knew that he wanted some head in the morning. And guess what? She decides after she finds out that he needs head in the morning, she got the pillow. Right?
How did Avery feel in the kitchen when all that was going on? And
Avery felt
she was giving that information.
Very put upon. I think it's a very interesting scene to shoot, and I think she felt very wanting to be stoic and kind of great and a hostess. You know, she has these people in her home and proper, and not losing her cool, but then also realizing she's also in her house, so she's like, you know, she kind of has the upper hand, like it's like a home court advantage kind of thing,
right?
And I'm just remember the things that were going through my head when I was shooting it, that I had no idea who, even though we're good friends, I had no idea who this Cara woman was, and she comes to because she's also behind the scenes, so I don't even know her from Mary Jane's. So there's this woman here who's like crying about like her cheating husband. It's like, why are you telling me this?
Right?
This is not my story. Whatever. Blah blah blah. You're crazy. You're clearly crazy. You show up in the middle of the night.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to listen to this with a grain of salt and then send you on your way.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I agree with what you said, Tiona. I feel like what Mary Jane had to say was very generic, and it would have been better coming from her husband as opposed to this random woman. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Beforehand. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know, if I was Avery, I might have felt a little ambush, like coming to my house in the middle of the night and drunk. Pump the brakes a little bit. I'm not sure I would have been as nice and let her in.
I would have, because I mean, like she said, our TV is broken. I need some entertainment. I would have let her in too.
I would have at least called for backup, because I don't know what this chick is crazy. So I don't know what you and your homegirl came to my house to do. Like, you could have anything.
She's crazy,
and
but she's also a celebrity. Like, she's a public. You know what I mean? Like, she can only
get too.
It's like Soledad O'Brien showing up at your house drunk. Yeah. It's like, what's she really gonna do?
Yeah.
Soledad.
Right. Let me film this, because I'm gonna use this against you. Right.
Yeah. Was that World Star?
Right. Okay, so then at the end of this, we see that Mary Jane asks Lisa to come over and inject David's old raggedy sperm into her. She has lost it. This chick is crazy.
Yeah, by this time, that sperm is raggedy, okay?
It is gross.
It was so I'm sorry.
It was an uncomfortable scene. I have to say, like, out of this entire season, I kind of didn't even want to. I'm like, it just made me feel uneasy. I'm like,
in the kitchen.
Well, anytime you're lying down on the floor with your legs apart with a woman between them with a turkey baster.
Yeah.
Sorry. If I was her friend, I would have walked out like, no, you crazy, bye.
I'm close with my friends, but I've never seen their Pikachu.
Like, but she's also an OBGYN.
Right, so it's nothing.
It's not the same
for her. I don't know. Okay, so then Mary Jane finally says bye to David, and she gives his sperm back as kind of a like, I wish you the best, and she smooches him on the lips. Should you have done that?
This is just too much for me. No, she should. First of all, throw that sperm away. Why would you be that dramatic and be like, you know what, I'm about to take this sperm to him? Girl, throw it away. If you have anything to say, go to him. I feel like it was just very immature. And then he's just like holding it, and then like you kiss the man on the lips like he's taken. Like, I just can't.
I don't know. I feel like that's closure. There are relationships that did not. I wish I'd had that closure. I don't know if it would just be a kiss I would go for. But you know, one more time. Please, just once more and then we're
gateway.
Done.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was like, I'm getting my closure and I'm moving on.
But she doesn't want I don't get the sense that she wants closure. I feel like she wants it.
Stay tuned.
Okay, and on that note, we're going to go through our predictions really quick. Everyone gets one prediction. All right.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Tiona, go ahead.
My prediction for season 2 is that Patrick and Lisa get together, because during Blindsided, when he got the baby, he kind of gave a look in Lisa's direction when he was holding the baby, and they're like, oh yeah, you're up, and Patrick was kind of like looking at Lisa a little bit.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, Lisa. You said Lisa. I'm picturing Lisa Vidal. You
No,
Lisa
I mean actually Dr. Lisa.
Okay, I can see that.
Dr. Lisa.
Yes, I
I
can see that
think
happening.
Patrick and her will get together, and I want to know what happens to Nichelle. Like, are we going to see her? Is it going to be like a housewives reunion when they're like in the same circles and, you know, they got to be around each other? But
Okay.
I think David and Mary Jane are going to get back together.
Really?
Yes, I do. I think they are.
What about the baby now?
She's going to have a miscarriage.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, I know that's not, but like, hashtag sorry, not sorry, but I like not, in the nicest sense, you know.
Of a miscarriage. Okay. That's so weird.
Move on.
That's your prediction though. You
Well, I'm going to kind of agree.
Is Mark going to be straight now?
No.
Okay.
Well, he is, but
oh my gosh.
I'm going to predict that Mary Jane and David are going to have, like, they're going to make up, or he's going to come over for some reason. They're going to have, like, this passionate make out, last hurrah sex, and then she's going to end up pretending to be pregnant because she finds out that his girlfriend is pregnant, so she wants that attention. So it's going to be like, oh, okay, she's pregnant. Well, guess what? I'm pregnant too. Oh, no, I didn't steal your sperm this time. You gave it to me because you said all I had to do was ask.
And then they're going to go on Maury. And they're going to be
my father?
Yes, I will say that too. My prediction is that Mary Jane will be pregnant, but I don't think it's going to be David.
Who's going to be Mark?
Don't
Don't
worry,
Mark's baby.
Mark, really?
It's going to be Mark's baby.
So,
Get out of there with
you
Mark.
get a prediction as well because you guys haven't shot, right?
Oh, we haven't shot anything. No.
See? So your prediction. What do you think is going to happen? One prediction.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I feel like I can't because I know some stuff.
Well, then something that you don't know.
Pretend,
Just
make
pull it out
something
of
up.
the air.
Pull it from somebody else's character.
Oh, goodness. Lisa Vidal, Cara, is going to get back with her husband.
I like that. I like that.
I like that one too.
Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Robin, for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank
Thank so much fun with you. Where can your fans find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Robinne Lee, ROBINNELEE, or on Instagram at Robinne Lee. At Facebook at the Robinne Lee. It's ROBINNELEE. And yeah.
Yay! All right. And ladies, what about you?
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
And you can find me on Twitter at Hey Ashley Gray. And you can also find me on Instagram at Ashley Nina Marie Gray.
And as always, you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop, like Scoop of Ice Cream. And this was great having you all season, guys. We will see you for season 2 when it comes back. Cheers! Bye! Thanks for watching.
Producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.